And then like there's people who sort of made it through that hurdle of learning about better health choices and making them, but they haven't been able to convince their families to make them.
Yeah.
And they almost feel like guilty because like I've gotten DMs like that too, where they're like, how do I let my mom and parents know that vegetable oil is really bad for them and all this rice is not good. They should eat more protein and all that. They say that, they've tried to explain to their grandmothers or mothers many times, but they don't want to change their habits.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like it's really hard to get like someone who's like 40, 50, 60, 70 to be like, all right, you're going to change your diet now. Like that's what they knew their whole lives. Like, for example, my grandma, like we tried so many things to get her to stop eating so much rice, but like she just loved
How much rice was she eating?
Like Indians eat a lot of rice. Like they eat rice with every meal, and like rice is like the main thing, and like the protein is like the side thing. It's like the opposite of how Americans eat.
It's optimally obese diet. Obese optimization or obesity optimization.
And she had like double bypass surgery and diabetes and all that. So like we were trying to get her to like eat less rice, but like it was just so ingrained in her habits. Like if she didn't eat rice, she felt like she was basically dead. Like she felt like she wasn't eating anything. She said that like rice felt like it made the meal. Without rice, there's nothing. What is it? It's just like trash to her. And so when you have people like that, it's like, how do you get them to change? I don't think you can. You just have to.
So what I would do in a situation like that is, because a lot of habit change is actually, it does border on, helping. It's not that dissimilar to like stopping doing drugs. And so for folks who've listened to previous streams, my view of drug consumption isn't to not do them. It's to do the ones that that give you the effects that you're looking for with the lowest amount of damage. Because I think it's if somebody's capable of not doing drugs, they're not going to do drugs. You don't need to convince them to not do them. They're just not going to do them. But for most of the people, most working people, stressful lives, a lot of reasons why you might want to use drugs. The battle that you can win is, okay, instead of doing this thing that you like and is really bad for you, why don't you try doing this thing that you like and will be less bad for you? And so, in the case of Preethi's grandmother, if I were in that situation, what I would actually try to do is to try to find rice substitutes that have the texture of rice, but a little bit of a different macro profile. I'm not sure if they probably do have some form of rice that's just not made out of rice kernels. And what I would try to do essentially is to get her accustomed to eating some sort of hybrid. So it's like, even if we know that she shouldn't be eating 2 cups of rice 3 times a day, it's much more realistic to get her to go from 2 cups of rice to 1 cup of rice, 1 cup of something else 3 times a day. And then boil the frog rather than trying to rip the Band-Aid off, essentially.